when you get to that state, it feels limitless. It feels like the entire concept of low and high is no longer real. And so this bliss includes all of the lower vibrations, and it includes infinite potential of energy that exists beyond the human body.
Hello, and we say fantastic day to you at this moment of your time. How may we be of service to you now?
Hello, nice to talk to you. Nice to talk to you.
Yes.
You've said how, as human beings, we can reach higher frequencies, higher vibrations. Can you first of all tell us about the experience? What's it like?
It's blissful, it's loving, it's perhaps euphoric. Though, if it's truly a higher frequency, you also feel grounded in it. It doesn't feel as if it is lifting you off your feet, so to speak. There is often a sensation of openness, a wave of energy. Generally, these waves of energy come through the heart or through the crown chakra or through both of them.
So I'm looking for how it's different from cultural ideas of people being happy or cultural ideas of getting a high.
Well, oftentimes when people say they are happy, what they mean is they are satisfied. So this idea of fulfilling a desire is what many people mean when they say happy, but we define happiness as something a little bit different. Satisfaction. You thought of something, you really wanted it, and then either you get it and you become angry or sad or fearful, or you become satisfied. And this feeling of satisfaction is also momentary. And this is why it is different than bliss. You can think of when you got the thing that you wanted, and not long after, even though you wanted it for perhaps a while, there was a sense of emptiness versus the high feeling that comes through human connection, through creativity, through expanding your consciousness with different spiritual or consciousness altering practices, through community, through play and dance, and through all sorts of things. This energy that comes from being naturally in the flow is a different sort of happiness and joy than simply satisfaction, because satisfaction is a moment that often fades away. And of course, there are some expressions of satisfaction, but you might still remain satisfied about them for some time because it builds in its merit after you complete it. Like you've completed a project, you've put your painting on the wall, and every time you look at the painting, you feel happy. This is different than the satisfaction of going and buying a coffee, drinking it, and then feeling empty some hours later. The painting never goes away, but many things that you want and think will bring happiness keeps you in a cycle of seeking satisfaction again and again. And that is absolutely not happiness.
Okay. And what about the high that people look for or think they find with chemicals of various sorts?
Well, every chemical has its own frequency. And some people can use these different substances to train themselves to vibrate at that frequency. when people have been chronically at a lower vibrational frequency for some time, and the beliefs and the toxins in their body are vibrating at that frequency, these plants or chemicals that vibrate a little bit higher can serve as a way to release some of those energies and hopefully train people to vibrate at that higher frequency on their own. The plants, the chemicals, they are permission slips to access that frequency. However, people often get caught in these plants, chemicals, or drugs because they forget that all the plant is doing is supporting them in accessing the frequency. They fall into a belief system that says, I need this external thing to access this frequency. And therefore, they get into a similar loop that we were talking about of desire and satisfaction. And they lose the frequency of that plant or drug when it is not around. And this can simply be changed by learning how to access that frequency without the substance. And many people will encounter difficulties in their life at one point, if this is the path they choose, that in a way present them the opportunity or to be able to learn how to get to that frequency without the plant. Sometimes in easy ways, sometimes in more difficult ways.
What about hypnosis and self-hypnosis? A stage hypnotist can hand someone an onion and they think it's the most delicious apple. So can someone who's trained themselves into higher frequencies just imagine that they're getting into the higher frequency without, like with a placebo, like with nothing? Like they can just...
Absolutely. Masters of consciousness never leave those high frequency states.
Okay, and then what's the limit as a human being for the highest frequency or highest vibration? What limits us from going any further?
Your physical body.
Ah, tell me more.
Well, there's a certain level of vibration that we call bliss or pure consciousness that is the highest you can access. Though when you get to that state, it feels limitless. It feels like the entire concept of low and high is no longer real. And so this bliss includes all of the lower vibrations, and it includes infinite potential of energy that exists beyond the human body. If you stay in this frequency long enough, you might leave your body momentarily. You might astral project. You might go into a sort of conscious sleep where your spirit becomes detached from your body and gets to experience those non-physical realms while your body lives. When the body dies, the soul gets to go to frequencies even beyond that threshold. It's simply that physical reality does not offer you the experience to access them just yet, because physical reality requires the experience of duality in order to operate.
Right. So can you say more about the bliss that we can't reach as humans? Well, can you just describe a few things about these higher levels of bliss which our body stops us from reaching?
It's akin to what our experience is when we say we are always happy. And we know no opposite to that. We are always blissful. And it is a bliss without opposition and not even aware of anything lower than the vibration of love. There's a lightness, there's a permeability, an amorphousness. It cannot be pinned down so well. These are some ways that we could describe it, but again, it requires a different sort of body in order to be able to understand. A body that is not physical.
So when you are in contact with us at the lower vibration, what's that like for you? How fully do you know what we're going through?
We know it from a bird's eye view. We don't know it experientially, but from the bird's eye view and using the channel's mind, we can understand it. But again, it's only through the channel that we are able to understand certain things about human consciousness. In the same way, it's only through interacting with humans and observing them that we know so many things about your world. And again, it's very exciting for us because it gives us a reference point. It gives us a mirror. In this endless flow of bliss that knows no contrast, we need to see realms that offer us the contrast of suffering so that we understand what our reality is and what our specific role in the greater scheme of reality is.
Okay, I'm very affected by your presence in this moment. I don't have thoughts easily linking. I was going to ask if you could influence, for example, me to feel higher vibrations. But the thing is, that's already happening because I'm kind of zoning out.
You are influencing yourself to experience that.
Yeah.
We are resonating in this space. The channel has attuned his vibration to our vibration, and you feel the presence through the channel. And now as you allow and you let go and you surrender, naturally your own vibration starts to attune to our vibration too.
So as I lose my normal ability to think and find words, how do you have communication at all when you're in a higher vibrational state?
Let's reflect this to you first, that
Yes.
you have not actually lost your ability to think and find words because you're still speaking to us. What's happening now is that you are accessing this higher frequency energy. Your monkey mind has quieted, and so you're experiencing thoughts in a much more subtle way. And in this way, the thoughts that are not relevant are not as present. You're used to the mind moving from one thing to the next thing, but in higher frequency energies, the mind has a single pointed focus that only tunes into what is relevant. And this is a very much different way of thinking. And we understand why you perceive it as not being able to think or communicate in a conventional way, because it's more refined and slightly different.
But I'm kind of excited of the idea that you're in that state and communicating.
Yes.
It's as though I flip backwards and forwards. I kind of drop some words and allow the words to happen. And then I'm back here just letting the body do the talking. It's as though it's like taking a gasp of air, like scuba diving or something, or snorkeling. I'm somewhere else, but to have words come out, I kind of drop a little pea-sized idea and let a group of words, not quite a sentence, come out. And I'm flipping between these two things just at this moment. And it's like a deep meditation right now.
It's akin to channeling your higher self.
Right. Well, I'm out.
All right, then we think the transmission is complete for this moment.
Okay. Thank you so much.
As well, yes, until we meet again. But remember, in another sense, we are always present because everything is here and now, and all beings that you wish to connect with you through the here and now whenever you would like them to be there.
Great.
Oh, yeah.
On the spaceship of Babel, we are gliding through the stars on a 5-year mission beyond Jupiter and Mars. A celestial encounter on a future Noah's Ark, and you won't hear us coming as we whisper in the dark. There's an Ewok close behind me as we try to disembark here. Obi-Wan Kenobi as we whisper in the dark.